welcome back to the messy workbench here at Frog Air Farm. So was able to break these fuel line fittings loose. This one has been mangled in the past. Got a little more mangled. Had to go vice grip routes on that one. This one wasn't as bad. I could get a wrench on it without slipping. So pull that off too. I might run those through the ultrasonic. So let's see if we can get this guy off. It's supposed to be a it is supposed to be a screen filter in here. Let's see if it's there. Pull up the drill press vise again. I don't think you need a lot, just need a little. Let's do this. There we go. Shaking you guys up a little bit. I mean a lot. Sorry about that. Hang on a second. Let me break this loose and I'll be back with you. Alright, there we go. We got it loose. Ooh, that's a spooge in there. More spooge. Let's see. Yeah, I don't see any screen. Yeah, that's for sure. I see a lot of that. You know, a fair amount of that, I should say. And that might, yeah, that is what is left of the screen right there. That's what that is. These things are great, except they will poke you if you're not careful. Yeah, so that's what's left of the screen. And well, it is a very fine screen. How should I put that? It was a very fine screen. Yes. Very fine screen indeed. So it's NLF, no longer functional. Let's see what else we got in here. Mostly just some spooge. And let's see if we can, that's too big. There we go. You know, years ago I restored Cat 22, and I'm pretty sure that's the paint from it. Alright. Well, let's just pull this guy out of here. Let's see what it looks like if I can. Maybe that's easier said than done too. Looks like we need to get that out. What's on the other side? Oh, looky there. More fine stuff. Well, yeah, this tractor, so when I bought it, you know, I kind of bought it without a whole lot of expectation. The seller made a comment to me that he thought it had been running in the last year or so. I don't think so. I don't think so. I think it's been a little longer than that. That's alright though. You know, both engines have compression, and you know, they both had oil in them, and just oil, which is always nice. Yeah, they both spin freely, so that's a good attribute to have. And so I'm just kind of cleaning out these threads a little bit, and we're gonna throw this back into the ultrasonic cleaner a little while and let it do its thing. We'll kind of blow this thing out and get out the big chunks. That's why I'm kind of lightly scraping around in there, just make sure there's not any screen chunks in there either, which I'm not pulling any out. And so, you know, I didn't know exactly what to expect. You know, first of all, I thought, you know, throw some gas in it and give the pony a couple of pulls and surely it'll fire it up. Maybe throw a little ether on it if I have to, and shot that in. No, nothing. So, you know, check the spark, no spark. Then I looked at the switch, and it was grounded all the time, so unhooked the wire, still no spark. And so knew the mag had to come off, and so I started getting into that, obviously, and then I'll have to show you the fuel tank that was on it. Once I got into that, it was all she wrote for the fuel system. And so let me get this guy back in our little drill press vise. And so there we go. So I started getting into that. There we go. And it became apparent that rust was endemic, and that he was going to need a little help. So I knew I had to get a tank without question. Yeah, oh, look at there. Sweet. Look at all that junk. And then as soon as I started, you know, pulling the tank and fuel lines, it, you know, became really clear that the whole fuel system was not in spec, shall we say. So this is an interesting situation. I'd really like to take that valve apart. There's, I'm sure, packing in there. And I don't know how to get the handle off. Let's take a look here. Is it threaded? Or is it swaged? Or silver soldered or something? Let's see if we can tell. Well, man, you know, if it's threaded, boy, it sure doesn't look like it's threaded. Well, let's say this, if it was threaded at one time, it sure looks like somebody silver-sided it. That's what that looks like. To me. How about, what do you think? Yeah. I don't think the handle's coming off. So that might be interesting. All right, let's see. Let's give it a light scrub here. The valve seat might actually clean up okay. Well, all right, well, I would love to take that apart and check the packing. I don't see that happening right now. Anyway, that may be let's see what we got when we get there kind of thing. And if what we got ain't pleasing, then we either try to unsolder it or we try to find a valve to replace it. Look at that rusty water. I mean, it's actually rusty cleaner. It's I did dip this in the ultrasonic last night. I'm gonna turn that on, actually heat it up. Oh, I have to plug it in first. My cleaning solution that I use is basically about half and half super clean and water. Seems to work pretty well for me. This is what I clean the small parts of the carb up in, and that was pure Windex to start with. I started with the interior parts, and then all the little exterior parts that got pretty dirty. But that was fresh before then. And but the super clean, and that works pretty good. I think I'm gonna get a little smarter about it though in the future, because what I think I'm going to end up doing is just put water in the cleaner, then use Ziploc bags or something like that with cleaner in them, and then put my parts in there. Keep the ultrasonic cleaner cleaner. Let's see. Yeah. Not perfect, but not horrible. I think workable. The biggest question might be the screen. You know, how am I going to replace that? Because it's going to need it for sure. I'd rather not put a little, cheap little external filter on it. But it's going to need some kind of filtration, I feel. Obviously, originally it had a screen, theoretically cleanable. So we'll have to figure that out. All right. Well, I won't mess with that much more here on camera. Now let's look in the business end of this. Oh yeah, I don't know if you can see that or not. Yeah, you might. Now a little better. Try to get you lined up there. Anyway, yeah, it's pretty much full O crud. What'd you expect? So, I don't want to screw up the valve seat there. So I'm kind of going around it a little bit. All right. Well, I think we're gonna get the ultrasonic cleaner hooked up and heat it up, and then we will go from there. So anyway, it's pretty messy in there, I have to admit. All right, well, stay tuned. We'll get these things cleaned up. Then next step, we're going to start unbending our, uncoiling our nicely coiled up fuel lines and get them straightened out. And then we'll use our little handy dandy brake line tool to get them into some semblance of shape. We'll solder the new ends on and get them ready for prime time. Okay, well, continuing on in the fuel system rebuild for the D2 starting engine. First couple episodes were rebuilding the carb, cleaning up, so that's ready to install. Made the new top gasket, so we are ready to reinstall the carburetor. So I've been working on the fuel lines. These came to me, they were actually a Cat part, there's copper line, all rolled up. Got them mostly straightened out. They had the same part number, so they had these bends here, which is actually real similar to the original. So I'm going to leave those in until I get there on that one. And then one line came in straight, the other line came in like this. So that's kind of how they're positioned on the machine. So you got that. I've also gone through, cleaned out our valve body here, good to my satisfaction. And I was a little concerned about being able to get new packing into this valve. Well, as I look at it, so when you have it screwed in and the fuel's shut off, you really don't have any fuel getting past here anyway. So, and then as you open it all the way up, it also seals at that end, so you're not going to have any fuel getting there either. The only time where you may have a leak is in between. So we'll see how that goes. I'm thinking that if I do have a leak, I can probably get some packing around in that nut, and then go ahead and screw it in. So that's my thinking at the moment, at least. So I'm keeping this together for the time being till we get there. So I brought in the old tank and I grabbed the fittings off of that, and yeah, I don't think she was getting any fuel. I just don't somehow. So anyway, we'll get that cleaned up. The only issue I have, and I'm going to have to look around for a part here, this is what's left of the filter screen that goes in the valve body, and that I'll need to figure out how to replace. This is the fitting for the line that I'll have to flare one of these lines, and then this fitting goes into the tank. So and that is the old line, also packed solid with rust. Anyway, filter material, filtering all the fuel out. Then I just got done cleaning up some of the new line fittings. So yeah, we'll have to solder these onto the lines. Get the new lines made up. Yeah, there we go. Ooh. And while I'm at it, I'm going to drop this and this here. You know what? Let's give this a clean of sorts. Let's see if we can get this stuff out of here. Whoa. Yeah. That's. Yeah. Yeah, I just don't think she was getting any gas. That and no spark make no runny motor. No motor running. Alright, so let's throw that in the cleaner and we'll give it a spin. My end goal here is we have a completely clean fuel system, at least to start with, and hopefully we can maintain that in that condition for some time. I apologize, this my setup here is kind of makeshift, let's just say. I'm not one of those fancy YouTubers where I've got a nice, beautiful shop. I don't even want to show you around this place. It might be interesting, actually, but it's a total mess. But it seems like that's how I find myself working most of the time. One of these days, I'll get everything in its place and organized, and I'll have a clean bench one of these days. Anyway, these are old fuel lines, like I've said. Let me grab the old tank. I'll show you what's going on there. So here's the original fuel tank, and if you look in here, totally rusted through from here to here. And and this thing is heavy. I mean, it is full, absolutely full of rust. And you can see, it's just packed in there. Anyway, absolutely full of rust. And I will reuse the cap. Beyond that, toast. New tank. Identical tank. Yay. I will use the plug out of the old one. It's much better condition than this one for whatever the reason. This does seem to have been lined with something at one point in time. So I'll have to do a little more investigation on that, see how it goes. It may be just fine. I don't want to have to strip it out of there, but it does look like it's in pretty good condition still. So we'll probably run with it after giving it a good clean. So at this point, I'm going to clean up these last few parts, get these cleaned enough that they'll take solder, get them soldered on, find my flaring tool so that I can put a flare on one of these lines, and then frankly I'm going to be ready to get the fuel system reassembled on the tractor. So I'm kind of excited about that. I'll bring you back before I'm all done with this part of it, and we'll talk to you soon.